Let's dive into the world of tabletop gaming and painting with the Tippycast. From rolling dice to mastering brushstrokes, we're here to fuel your passion. Join us for insights, inspiration, and endless creativity. I'm Daz.
And I'm Chris. So, Daz, what's on the table?
Well, Chris, it's good to be back, firstly. On the table,
Yes, it's been a while.
Just got some more bolt action assembled. Very nearly finished my Mysterious Stranger from the Fallout Wasteland Warfare. I've just got to do his base, really. Then he's done.
Cool.
I took a bit of break from the Rumble Slam stuff and just sort of changed it up a bit. So yeah, as you can see, he's basically done. But I just need to do his base. And I'm not going to get anything too fancy with that. I'm just going to, give it a nice grey wash, give it a nice grey base, and just a nice black wash. And then might just dirty it up a little bit. Probably put a bit of... I use my fancy new Green Stuff World mud textures. And I'm going to sort of just use get a little bit of dirt, a bit more, or make it look a bit more dusty. Get a bit of dust on there. Obviously, apocalyptic wasteland. Got some Soviet winter flamers. They got assembled. And I've also stuck on some spare flames that I had from Anvil Industries on the flamethrower to make it look more flamey. But yeah, I've just I'm taking a little sabbatical from the Rumble Slam stuff. Just because I didn't need it. I wasn't really planning on playing any Rumble Slam anytime soon, so just sort of started painting some bolt action. And weirdly, I started painting a little chest for Grace's Dungeons and Dragons dice. I'm kind of making her a nice little dice box for her dice. Got some nice little sticky back red felt to put inside that. So not just miniature painting. I'm just doing a bit of painting generally. I've also been doing a lot of craft. Yeah, I'm just getting back to basics. Because to say, she wants somewhere to put her dice. I'll have like a little more like a dice tray that she wants, rather than like a place to store her dice. And she happened to see that and then wanted it, so I was like, yeah, I'll do that. Other than that, just sort of just assembling things, priming things when the weather's been like good enough. It always seems to be whenever I go to prime something, the weather turns a bit sour where I am at the minute. Every other time I've not been at home, the weather's been lovely. I've got home, rained, so I've not been able to really prime anything. But I've got plenty of stuff.
So was the way it goes.
It is. So plenty of things assembled, grouped up, ready to go. So I've got it all planned out in batches. But I've been keeping the brush wet, so to speak. Just keeping the game. I mean, I imagine you haven't got much on the table, Chris, seeing as that you've not been in the country for a couple of weeks.
Yes, I was away in America for like a week and a half, and then I was jet lagged, and then like for the rest of that week, and then back to work, which really helped put my body clock back together. So that'll be good. I'm looking forward to having a lie-in tomorrow, though. I think I've earned it. But so before I'd went away, I hadn't painted a whole lot. I'd been doing some Fallout stuff. I had a few finish when I came back. So I've just been taking some nice photos of them. I'll be putting them up on the blog probably tomorrow as we're recording. So yesterday, if you listen to this, the day this releases. Then I've just been doing some like just nice simple things, just like scenery bits. I've been painting. I've got a bunch of stuff from Tiny Furniture I've had for a while. A bunch of mechanic stuff and some some gun workshop kind of things. Stuff that'll work in a few different games. The stuff for the mechanic shop I'm working on is the what they're called, it's like dual post car lifts, and you can once I've got them stuck down into the garage, I've got the TTCombat garage. Like you can just sit a car on top of them as well, so that'd be pretty cool to have in. But yeah, I'm just kind of taking this month just to do all these little bits that kind of falls to the wayside when I'm focusing on models. So this is Miscellaneous March, to follow on from Fallout February. Yeah, so I get, like I said, just get to do it like a bunch of different things with it, which I quite like.
Sometimes it's good to just get those little jobs out of the way. You know, I mean, like I do that sometimes when I'm like, if I've got like something that's not necessarily in line with what I'm painting, but it's just sort of sitting on my desk, and it's like I could just really just bang that out and just finish that and get it done. And then I'll be like, yeah, I'll just get that done, and then gets it out of the way, and then yeah. And I think sometimes it's just good to get like just almost like painter's housekeeping. You know, just getting the little bits that are very nearly completed but have just stalled, and it's just like, yeah, I'll just finish that off, get some just little bits out of the way, and things that generally get forgotten about. Like I had a bunch of
it's like
I've
got like toolkits and stuff like that were in these mechanic sets, and it's just little bits of set dressing. So even if they don't end up in like many games and things, if I'm just taking some photos of some models, putting them into a scene, it's things for that, and it just like adds a little bit of visual interest. And like tiny furniture products are really bloody good.
That's what I mean. And it's sometimes it is. You're like, yeah, I've got I've shown you my winter snipers that I've got. I made them like almost like a little vignette base of like. So I literally, genuinely, I did it out of scrap. So you know the sprues, that MDF scenery that TTCombat it comes on, like the sheets that it comes on, obviously with all the bits that you cut out, and you've got the bit of it left. I was using that, and I cut them down to make it, and they actually make really good scale bricks if you cut them down into the right length. And I built a small brick wall that my sniper sits behind, and I've been meaning to paint that for a long time. And again, it's not game piece required. It's not really going to be used in a game. It was just something I did because I had a bit of spare time, and I had some spare MDF, and I thought, oh, I'll mess around with that. And the next thing you know, I've built a small sniper's nest out of like scrap MDF and some cork. That needs to be done at some point. But yeah,
just something cool to have.
I mean, definitely. But it's generally a bit of a mixed bag, which leads us quite nicely into today's main topic. Ordinarily, as any historical listeners know, we tend to sort of keep a certain subject focus. But me and Chris haven't really spoken since he's got back from the States. And it's just going to be a bit of a mixed bag because we've got a lot of different things that we kind of want to talk about. And I do believe they're quite time-sensitive things to talk about. And it just all happens to be at the same sort of time.
Also, we've been doing this podcast for over a year now.
Woo! 1 year.
Woo!
1 year.
A couple of weeks ago, I came up on my memories of the first episode. So
1 year anniversary.
Congratulations.
1 year anniversary. Longest relationship I've ever had.
Just got a swig of beer for the anniversary. My Steve Austin's Broken Skull IPA from America.
And I'm having Guinness Clear at the minute. But yes, a couple of things that we want to talk about. Obviously, me and Chris are both very passionate about a couple of games companies. Obviously, TTCombat's always been a very large focus of our discussions. They don't pay us yet. They're not an official sponsor.
Yeah, no matter how much we keep
No, how
pestering
much
them,
we
they will
try,
not pay us.
they won't pay us. Hopefully, though, it might come down to, again, like if we keep hassling them, they might just give us some money to just get us to go away. It's always been our plan.
If we just do all the work for them, then they've got to pay us.
Exactly. But there have been a couple of good Kickstarters that me and Chris have both backed. First one of which, I think, let's talk about one of mine and Chris's favourite games. Bit of a niche one. We spoke about it before. We talk about it quite regularly. I mean, it was the large focus of our Halloween episode. Don't Look Back on Gamefound. Granted, it wasn't Kickstarter, but it was a backer thing. Kickstarter's it's like saying Hoover in vacuum, isn't it? But
yeah, it's another crowdfunding platform.
There you go. Crowdfunding was the word I was looking for. But yeah, Don't Look Back. The campaign for that has just finished. Very excited. Very excited. Main reason
it reached its funding goal in 3 hours,
as it should have.
It ended up reaching 404.05% of its goal. So it's done really well. It's they unlocked all of the extra big stretch goals that they'd planned, which is always good to see. It gives we some new extra bits in there. So we got Suburban Slaughter Pack, which is like a card add-on where there's it's like a themed set of cards for playing in suburban areas. Unlocked the Suburban Home card scenery, which personally I didn't add because I've got a lot of like suburban scenery I can use. The Mutant Ooze measuring gauge got added to Facility 86,
which is very. It does look cool.
The new version of the Final Girls. The knife measuring gauge that's been added to the core box. It's going to be made from card.
It's a good quality card, though.
The MDF. Yeah, good thick card there. If it's the same one that they use on some of their other games, then it's a good card stock. Like I've got the MDF knife measuring gauge and the cleaver measuring gauge.
Nice.
So it's like I'll have this in the core box, but I won't necessarily need that one. 2 new characters got added to the core box: Cody Gallo and Sybil Gallo. And a new killer added to the core box, which gives me 2 new killers in that core box. They're the Forest Witch.
Very Baba Yaga vibes on that one. But I mean, again, like
it's a cool looking model.
They do fantastic sculpts. Like I recently bought. Well, I say recently, a while ago. I bought the new the updated Heroes box, and I bought the new Killer box with the 2 new sculpts of Killers. Got that a while ago. But what's great about this sort of campaign is the postage was really reasonable, because obviously historically when you try and buy from Blacksite directly, it's not their fault, it's just how it goes. With like tax, shipping tax and things like that, and again, not their fault. But the postage was just, even if you just wanted to buy the core box and a couple of little extra bits. I mean, what did I get? Yeah, so I went with the core box, and then I got the supporting characters VHS expansion. Because I wanted the supporting casts, because I didn't like the card tokens, because I felt it would ruin my immersion of the game. And then you get
if you can replace card tokens, then I agree. It's good to do.
And obviously you get your free final Seth miniature, which is quite nice. Very good. Again, they're great looking models, and everything that I've got of Blacksite Studios miniatures from the original box, and then my other things that I've got, they are fantastic quality miniatures, and they're really detailed and crisp.
Yeah, like I've got some of the early sculpts from the Don't Look Back, and like even going on a little bit, not the latest sculpts that they've done, but like as they've progressed through, a lot of the work on the faces they've done is really improved. Especially for like the female characters, they've got the angles perfect for like the slide features and things, and the pictures, like the renders of the new models, the look absolutely incredible.
They do, and they do produce some really great stuff. The only complaint, obviously, that we have about Blacksite Studios is their location and the fact that we can't buy more of their stuff.
Yeah,
that's our only complaint.
This is like one stockist in the UK, and their stock is not always available, which is a shame.
But understandable. But it is weirdly such a like, you go to most, like, because when I'm at the events, obviously Wayland Games are there, Element Games are there, and you ask about it, and they're like, "No, I never heard of it." And it's and you're just sort of like, yeah, it always seems to be out of stock wherever I look for it. I mean, we're kind of making a rod for our own back here, really, Chris. Us shooting its praises.
Yeah, and then telling you to get this game, but you can't get it unless you want to pay import.
You can't get it, but like obviously don't get everything, because then we can't buy it and then can't talk about it. It's a very double-edged sword of a conversation to have. But nonetheless, if you ever find yourself in the States and you see it, honestly, just pick it up. Even just a core set, you will have a great time. Because I managed to play a couple couple quick games on my own.
The Blacksite Studios website has store locators, so put the zip code in of your area, and it'll tell you where like all the stockists are. I did that when I went to America, and I went in to see the shop. They had a few of the Blacksite Studio stuff. They also had some Rumble Slam stuff, which was great to see. But the Don't Look Back stuff, someone had been in the week before and bought their entire set of stuff they had.
Just cleared them
so
out.
I'm guessing they've probably backed this and wanted some of the older stuff as well. Some like the older models and things. So yeah, gutted. But I had a good chat with them, and it was a really nice shop, really nice group of guys. Board and Brew Games in Houston, Texas. I doubt anyone from there is listening to this, but if you do go there, let them know that Tippy Club sent you.
Code in bio. If you go to the store and you give them the code Tippy1, they'll look at you very confused and not give you a discount.
They'll be like, "Oh, another Brit coming in talking about a cat."
And it'll probably be me. I'm the other guy.
But that shop, Board and Brew Games. Oh, I just dropped my microphone. That shop, Board and Brew Games, really nice shop. Really good area for playing as well. They've got quite an open area for just playing like board games that they've got in a board game library. And then in the shop section itself, they've also got like a bunch of tables for like your tabletop wargaming. And yeah, there's like what you'd expect, like your GW stuff, but when I was talking to him, the guy that runs it was saying that he really likes to have the more obscure games in. Things like Don't Look Back, Himetsu, Violent Dark, and Rumble Slam. So it was really cool to see that. And he's trying to get some Carnivale off the ground there.
Nice.
And I was like, do it, because that game is great.
Just do it.
Do it. Just if you have it there, they will buy it because it's such a cool game and it looks amazing.
And it's funny as well, in a dark way. But well, a nice little segue into our second Kickstarter, which is now actually a Kickstarter of TTCombat's new games. I had to pluralise that because although I only backed one of them, it is games.
Yes, there are 2 games they've included within this. I'll let you introduce them, Daz.
So the 2 games, obviously we've spoke about it before, but now the campaign has officially finished, and it was the campaign for Striketeam Commander and Battlezone Commander. Now, I have liked the look of Striketeam Commander since they announced it. Obviously, I've been privy to a little bit of information about the game, pre-sculpts because of my stature in the TT agent community. I don't mean to brag, but I'm kind of a big deal.
You see, I've not really looked in any of the drop universe bits on the TT agent Discord. Because like I don't know a whole lot about like the drop universe. I don't. I'm mostly just looking in the Rumble Slam bit.
Yeah.
Because that is my key game. But yeah, once Striketeam Commander and Battlezone Commander drop, I'll probably be a little bit more active in the drop universe.
But so it had 840 backers, which is pretty average for TTCombat stuff. And it got they needed a 50G goal, and they got £195,771. I don't know how to tell you that in percentages because I'm terrible at maths. But so the key.
Oh, I didn't work out the percentage for Don't Look Back. It tells you on Gamefound.
It doesn't tell you that. It doesn't tell you that on Kickstarter. But so because there was 2 games in theory, the stretch goals sort of covered both games, which is fine. Annoying if you were wanting just one of them,
yeah,
like I did.
Yeah, same. I went in for Striketeam, which is your skirmish level one,
which I wanted because I'm not a big fan of vehicles, because I feel it's just a cost that I don't want. And not that I don't like vehicles, I don't like high model counts. And me and Dad kind of just talked to each other about it, and we were like, look, we can't justify getting into like 2 games, and especially ones with high model counts like that, because obviously
I've got 2 40k armies that are not fully painted and I don't use, so having more armies I couldn't justify it. But having strike teams, I was like, yeah, it's a low model count, cool looking models,
and they are great.
I've already got some of the strike team models from the TTCombat exclusives, and so it's like I can do that. The set itself looks cool. The deluxe double-sided map that comes with it, that looks really nice. I've went with the chroma scenery to go with it.
Nice.
So I really want to see how that chroma stuff looks in person. and I don't want to have to paint a lot of scenery because I've already got so much scenery to paint.
And the good thing is as well, I imagine that the chroma scenery that they're going to do for Striketeam, I reckon would work really nice with Necromunda as well. Potentially. Obviously, so it got funded like very quickly because I think a lot of people were waiting for it.
Yeah.
Some of the stretch goals that they had.
I'm going to go into not the comments, the updates, because they mentioned what it was. Was it like an hour and a minute or something like that?
Yeah. But so some of the stretch goals were about so obviously Striketeam, just to give you a sort of quick rundown. We spoke about it before, but I'll give you another quick rundown. Is so if you go down, it's always best to go down with the drop verse. So you have Drop Fleet Commander is the outer space battles, trying to get your troops on the ground. Then you've got Drop Zone Commander, which is almost like Warhammer's like epic scale, if anyone remembers that.
Mm-hmm.
And then
it was funded in under 5 hours.
There you go.
Just jump in there.
And so obviously then you've got Drop Zone Commander, which is like bigger units, very, it's almost like an epic scale. Then it goes down to what's now Battlezone Commander, which is still squads of things, couple of vehicles. So a bit more like 40k-ish. What people would consider 40k. Not really my bag. Too many moving parts for me. And I'm not afraid to admit that. And, you know, I've always historically and been very adamantly open about saying that, you know, I'm a skirmish guy. I don't like high model counts. I want to be able to like play a game, get a result, be done with it. Mm-hmm. And then Striketeam is your small units of troops fighting other small units of troops, more like your breach of a building in a small team. A strike team, some might even call it.
Yeah.
The
Striketeam box is it's Scourge versus UCM, but I think we've also got Resistance added.
Yes.
To a stretch goal.
Yes, a free stretch goal is Resistance, and I don't think they got as far as buy for
30 models.
Oh, and the Resistance has been brought in, and that was it. Like it didn't unlock to buy officers. But yeah, so you get a Resistance fighters free in the Striketeam Commander 2-player starter set. So now the 2-player starter set has become a 3-player starter set.
Yeah.
But the mod, you know, I haven't played it. I haven't really had a good look at the rules. I can imagine it's not really going to play too dissimilar to Carnival. You know, like with that system and.
Yeah, I had a scan of the early rules that they put out, and looking at the video or the videos that they put out during the campaign as well. It looks quite nice. It's like tile based rather than measurement.
Oh, okay.
So think like how you move in Rumble Slam, where it's all like it's like a grid that you're moving across. And I think with that, I like that because to look at things like Dead Zone by Mantic and Mars Attacks, that was grid based, but it was like 3x3, so you were like fitting multiple models within that. Whereas this one, it's like one model per square, but like it took away the ambiguity of like, oh, am I going to be able to make it behind this cover? It's like, is the cover in front of that square? Yeah, it's there. Don't have to worry about your opponent messing with measurements if you're doing like a tournament thing or like playing it in the shop, and someone who can't take being beat. They fudging the measurements and stuff. It's nice and easy. Move that many squares. Probably be easy to get like your younger gamers involved as well. Because it's like, how many squares do they move? 5. There you are. Throw a grenade, it lands there. these squares around it, they're affected as well.
And I think
nice, easy, quick game, and you'll be able to get through.
And I think TTCombat have always done that really, really well. And actually, I love the fact that they do that. Like, they've never been...
It's user-friendly.
Yeah, it's never been massively, like, rules-heavy. I think the rules-heaviest game that I've played of theirs was probably Drop Zone. Was the biggest rules-heavy one. But obviously, some people like that. I don't. I lost interest very quickly, and that's purely down to the fact that I've got a terrible attention span.
I like a game that I can just have a couple of reads through the rulebook and be able to play it.
Yeah.
Something like Rumble Slam, nice and easy. Carnivale, there's a bit more going on with it, but it's still easy to follow. Something like The Walking Dead, nice and easy. You get to something like Necromunda, and every little thing you do, you need to look through one of 20 rule books. And it's never in the rule book, you think, because it's just that crunchy. And it's like, I can't be bothered with that, really.
Yeah, I think
so.
Anything with
a nice skirmish game, a nice skirmish game like this, you can just do some breaching. Cool, I like it.
And it's just that's a reason why I get put off a lot with Games Workshop games as a whole. Is it's like, oh, my attack does this. Oh, but I've got this armor save. Oh, but this negates that armor save. And I'm like, oh, look, I just need to know.
Oh, but I've got an invulnerable armor save that can't be affected.
And it's like I don't want to be flicking through 40 different pages to find the answer. And like, don't make me do maths. It's like, I don't want to do that. But I just like a game when it's like, oh, okay, this is the dice roll that you've got to beat. Cool. There we go. That's it. That's all I want. And yeah, I prefer, in some instances, I prefer like a grid-based thing. Purely because, again, the amount of times I've played people, especially like the last time I played Kill Team, which was a long time ago. So long, in fact, that no one had even heard of COVID-19. That's how long ago that was.
Last time I played Kill Team, it was prior to that.
You know, I was playing someone and they were just fudging their measurements, and I was like, come on, man. And it's like, which is annoying, like, especially if you're playing as orcs and your whole game plan is just based on charging them. But grid-based things, yeah, I think it takes a lot of the complicated rules out of it. You know, the complexity. That was the word I was looking for.
And it's less things to knock over models.
Yeah.
If you're using a tape measure, and you just end up knocking things over, and it's like, great, thanks. I spent ages painting this army, and you've just knocked all the guts. I know it wasn't purposeful, but still.
And again, that's what I love about the Carnival rule of like, look, if it looks like it's going to fall, just sort of like,
nudge it on so it'll fit.
So it's safe, you know. Whereas you'd have some like hard, sweaty GW fanboy. I'm calling you guys out. I don't care. Come for me. Like, I'll run away. I'm perfect. I'm a lot fitter than you probably are.
Yeah, I'm faster than you lot.
Anyway, it's the GW fanboys.
You bunch of sweats. Just
sweats.
Leave a comment below saying how you're not a sweat for playing G-Dub games. And you are a sweat.
And if you can outbench Daz.
You see, Daz, this is how we get engagement on videos, by insulting the listeners.
It's our plan all along. They never suspect a thing.
Our second year of the Tippy cast is us just calling out GW players.
Come at us. We'll have to start recording this from a secret bunker. Do you know what? I think it'd be so funny if we recorded an episode like at Warhammer World and just started calling everyone sweats. Like in Warhammer World.
Look at that sweat, and it's like Daz Latham.
Henry Cavill walks in, sweat.
He's not even the best Daz in this place.
But yeah. So but they get like really anal about it, and you go, "Oh, you can't move that," and they'd be like, "Look, I just don't want my model to fall."
Mm-hmm.
But like they'd be like, "No, you can't do that," and it'd be like, "That's why." TTCombat games, every game of any TTCombat game I've played, even losing, I've still had a great deal of fun with, just because of the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah,
it's just hilarious.
The games that make moments.
I mean, the Let's Play me and Chris did with Half Tilt, even though I lost, even though like statistically on paper I should have won.
I thought that was the best game ever, and I'm retiring from Half Tilt as champion.
Well, when you come down to the
not really. We will have another game at some point. It's just
mate.
the hassle of setting that camera up.
Oh no, mate! When you come down at the expo, we're gonna have some Half Tilt going because Chris is gonna come. If Chris is coming down to the expo, me and Chris are gonna hang out.
I am. Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna come down south. I'm gonna go up north, and well, he won't declare Birmingham the north. It's the Midlands at best.
It's not Birmingham. Yeah, anything above London and below Alnwick is the Midlands. But that includes Newcastle.
Newcastle.
And if you're from Newcastle, tell me in the comments below that Newcastle isn't the Midlands, because it is, because it's south of Alnwick. You're not even the most northern county.
I'm not going to say Geordie's a sweat. I'm not saying it because they will find us and they will hurt us.
Yeah, they will. They'll come at us with their string vests
and then Nuki Brown, and they just start hitting us. And it goes, "Hey, who's joking now?"
Think you're funny, do you?
Well, as a matter of fact, I do actually think I'm quite humorous. The problem is, I can imagine, like, even though I'm from the south, I'm from the Cotswolds, which sounds really posh. It's not, but it's like
means the sheep pen,
basically. But I sound really posh to like most people from the north, and you go up there, and as far as I'm concerned, I might as well be talking like this. I say, "Oh, sorry, old boy."
Yes.
But like, I can imagine that's how Chris hears me all the time, and he's just sort of like, "Yeah, sorry, old boy, rah. Me, the 13th Duke of Wednesbury, at a nurse's college,
I say,
with my reputation." Oh,
and I was very drunk.
Couple of Fast Show references there.
It's basically that sketch from the Fast Show where I'm Ted and you're the guy with the stately home.
Yeah, even though I don't have a stately home.
Yes.
But you're from the Cotswolds, everyone.
I'm going to be fixing that fence later, sir.
Oh yes, jolly good, Ted. I think that's how like when we hear each other. Like I just think he's like this proper like, "Oi, Geordie lad." But he's like, "I'm not from Newcastle. I'm from Alnwick." And I go, "Well, you're Geordie to me."
I'm from a completely different county.
This is exactly the point. Ignorance of British geography.
Yorkshire's the Midlands because it's in the middle of the country.
It's God's own country, Yorkshire.
No, Northumberland is God's own country, which I love telling people from Yorkshire.
But yeah. Anyway, we digress.
Yes. So how else can we isolate our listeners?
If you play Magic the Gathering, you're a nerd. Right.
I play Magic the Gathering.
Point still stands. It's like I'm not backing down.
Okay, we need to call out our friends from Italy now.
No, I like Dario and I like Renz.
Yeah.
And I like
Dario and Reds are good guys.
and I love Carnival.
We like Italy.
I love Carnival. You'll never hear me say that. That'd be the one time I'd like really get passionate about it. Goes, oh, Carnival sucks. Like, how dare you, sir? Like,
if we insult our Italian friends, then we're racist. If we insult our own country, it's fine.
But
and if we insult America, then we're just like everyone else.
We're no better than Joe Rogan.
Well, I would say we are a lot better than Joe Rogan.
We're definitely better looking. That took a weird turn.
With a better podcast.
We say with a whole following of 50 listeners. But what are 50 listeners we've got?
Our listeners are bloody fantastic.
They are.
In fact, go down in the comments below and tell us how fantastic you are.
We are really pushing this engagement.
The algorithm demands engagement. What were we saying about Striketeam?
Striketeam. Yes. I said where was I? Grid based, rules light.
Yes.
I don't like heavy rules.
Sweat's not welcome.
Well, hey, everyone's welcome to the TTCombat fold. If anything, I feel like I should be out front of Warhammer World wearing a TTCombat shirt and with Carnival or Striketeam go, come over, come.
Come and have a game.
Do you know what? I think I'll just get like a dodgy...
Let's go into the bar in Warhammer World and play Carnival.
I'll just get like a dodgy white van and I'll just park it outside and I'll just be like, come into my van, let's play a game. Look, I've got bolt guns.
You like gaming, do you? Come on.
Come into my van. But yeah, I as I said, I like small
like
model
kittens?
Guns. Do you like wrestling?
Do you like wrestling and kittens, youngin?
Come on into my van.
Chris, we've told you, don't start a conversation with people like that.
We've had this talk. But
how many times do we have to tell you?
But yeah, I've always been a big advocate of their rules and the way they do rules. And I think a good sort of like indicator of how good their rules are is if you can keep someone who has ADHD engaged, then you're onto a winner, because my oldest nephew's got ADHD and some games are just far too rules heavy for him and he just forgets or he just doesn't focus. Whereas like Rumble Slam, it's quick punchy rules. It's like, oh, I want to do this, we'll do that then. Oh, I want to do this, do that. That's it. That's all it is. And it's like, and he can grasp that very quickly. Whereas if I was trying to explain to him the intricacies of Blood Bowl and how it works, and he'd just be like,
yeah,
his brain would melt.
I don't have ADHD, and I would not be able to take any of that in.
Exactly, and I think that's always been a big thing for me. Is I generally look at games and rule sets, and I'm like, could my 9-year-old understand this and play a game without my input? And if the answer is yes, then I'm more inclined to buy that game, because then, you know, I don't have to sort of sit there and explain to her what she needs to do. She can just be like, yeah, okay, there we go, that's it. And I have something going on there. My computer had a moment. Yeah, it's if it's too rules heavy, I just can't be doing with it. But another great thing I think about with most TTCombat games is model design. You know, the Striketeam stuff, and because they're only really small squads, much like in Rumble Slam, you can put a lot more character into those small amount of figures that they do. Now, obviously,
and you're getting multiple loadouts as well, so you can customize these squads to really help tell the story of your team.
And as well, what's great is obviously me and Chris haven't gone Battlezone Commander, but if people have chosen to do that way, the models in Striketeam also can go into Battlezone Commander, which again,
it's like it's a shared art style, shared
scale,
model size.
and it's great. I mean, again, I'm just not a big fan of vehicles. I just don't have that kind of time, nor money, nor want. I think it's a fair thing to say about painting vehicles. Bolt action is
It's an airbrush job, really. Let's be fair.
And but again, it's the rules are simple, but they're not so simple that they're boring. It's simple and engaging, and that's realistically what they've always been very good at, And it's when you explain, like, even Carnival rules, like, it's okay. Well, you roll a d10. Okay, now what number am I looking for? You're looking for that. Oh, okay, and that's it. And then some people get really confused about. I wouldn't say confused, but like shocked by the simplicity of it. And then they're like, "Oh," and you're like, "Yeah, that's it." And then I think that
the rules themselves lend to the game's like cinematic feel in a really natural way.
Exactly, and that's I think something that I think Games Workshop could take a couple pages out of that book for. A lot of other games.
I think with Games Workshop, they make like the game basic rules, and then they try to add like the narrative and like cinematic feel around that, and it doesn't really work.
No,
it's like Necromunda. You'll play, and it'll be like some kind of offshoot of the 40k rules, and they've tried to make it a bit more RPG like, but it just doesn't really lend itself that. Like I don't even know what the big changes on the latest kill team are, but the previous one where you had like Shadow Vault, Soul Shackle, Into the Dark, Octarius and stuff like that. That rule set looks very similar to the current 40k rule set. So I don't know if they've kind of just like scaled that up to be 40k, or if they've kind of planned that out to be like you can have a smaller scale of it and it'll still work with RPG elements if you want to put that in. But somehow I doubt that, because
But it's Games
whereas
Workshop.
something like Carnival, it does let you have that RPG element to it if you want to add that in, but it's not necessary.
I mean, I've always said that when we do demos of Carnival, I always say it's that sort of middle ground between like an RPG and a tabletop game, because it is a very solely narrative-driven game. It's not, we just go out, kill each other. Yes, that is a large part of it. It is gang warfare, but there is also like a massive underlying story to everything. And it is that middle ground because obviously all the characters are somewhat unique. Granted, when you get down to like the henchman level, you do get a lot of repeats, but you'd expect that.
Yeah,
but everything.
But I mean, it's henchmen. They're there. Yeah. They're there to just kind of get in the way of things
and hench.
Get your big guys to the objective. They're just fodder.
Yeah. And, the way the game plays, and, with the 3 dimensions of it, like scaling buildings, jumping across buildings, swimming, drowning people, it all feels very narrative, but the rules work for everything. And it's, again, it's that simplicity, and it's not like you say, I don't want to say like it's simple because they want you to. It's just that so you can understand it and pick it up quickly. And it's a perfect game when you demo it as well, because when you demo it and it's like, you can just go, this is what you need to do. And then you explain it in about 5 minutes. And then people have a rough idea of what they're doing to some level of accuracy. And that's it. And that's what
I
you
like
want.
games like that where it's easy to pick up, hard to master.
Whereas Games Workshop, sometimes I feel guilty about shitting on them, but they make it so easy. They're like, it's like me as a pigeon, and they've just got like a freshly washed car. It's like I can't help myself. In the fact that it's like, we'll say, a game that you can pick up quickly, right? Could you imagine trying to demonstrate a game of Warhammer to someone at the expo? Like, just, I want to shoot that person. All right, we'll make sure you're in range. Then we're going to do the difficulty of the shot. Then we've got to take into effect the weapon strength, your firing ability to actually fire the weapon. Then we've got to take their armor into account. And I'm like, slow down. Like, you're throwing a lot of numbers at
That's
me.
exactly why, if you were having a demo game in a GW shop, they don't give you those rules. It's 4 to hit.
Yeah.
You've killed them. They give you the barest of bare bones because they know that if they set up an actual demo game to try and get you interested in the game, it's not going to work.
So you're basically saying is most people who get into Games Workshop by going to the Games Workshop is built on a valley of lies.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's the there was the Warhammer Imperium magazine that I'd subscribed to. It does that to start with, but it's because it's giving you, it's teaching you to play as if you've never played a tabletop game before. So it's getting you used to like moving your models, getting you used to your rolling to hit, and then they'll start adding in putting it against the toughness. Then you start getting characters with multiple wounds, and it's like they build that up naturally. And I thought that was a really good way of teaching people how to play 40k. But when you're going into the shop, and it's like, we're going to teach you how to play this game. Oh, roll your dice. Oh, 4, you've hit, you've killed that guy. Now do you want to buy this £90 starter set? And everything I've just showed you is completely different.
Yeah.
And yeah. Whereas with that magazine, if you bought issue 1 and that's all you bought, you got everything in that like set, like everything in that issue to play the rules that it gives you. So it's like,
I mean, they'll also lie
cool
to
models.
you as well at the Games Workshop store. They go, oh, buy this Tau box set. All your friends will think you're really cool. No, they won't.
Everyone loves Tau.
Do they?
But
But my point is as well.
Depends on what colour you paint them.
Yeah, there is that. But my biggest gripe with Games Workshop has always been and always will be when they balance things out, instead of just giving you the stuff for free like TTCombat do, Mantic Games also do that as well, that if they need to balance anything out, it's generally free. Games Workshop be like, oh, we made a mistake, so we need to now balance this out, but it's going to cost you 50 quid in a book for you to get that rule balance, because we're not going to give it to you for free. It's almost like you being shot by someone else. They come over to you, then charge you for the bullet they just shot at you. It's about as close as an equivalent as I can get. And it's like, yeah. And it's like, I understand that they've got to run a business. I understand, they need to do that. But when they bring out so many balances a year, it's like, either do it right the first time, or accept the fact that you've made a mistake and then just rectify it for free.
Well, it was like the when they brought the squats out, and like immediately they had to nerf the entire codex because the team, like the army they'd play tested it against, had been nerfed like since then. So like they were like, oh, these work fine against each other, forgetting that they've already completely changed everything about that army. It's like, what is going on for like the company that is the leader in the hobby? How
Very
did
much so, yeah.
that not get noticed?
Well, it was like the whole Leagues of Votan thing all over again, isn't it?
Yeah, that's them,
Oh, right, yeah.
the squats. Yeah,
And it's, yeah. Oh, you can use this, and then you use it, and you go, oh, well, actually, no, you can't. Now you've got to buy this new book.
actually, we need to change every rule in this book because it's way overpowered, and yeah, we tested it against an overpowered codex, which has since been nerfed. Whereas
But
Rumble
enough,
Slam,
Rumble Slam.
when was its last FAQ? Because I think that only changed like one thing, and that was like adding a rule clarification.
Yeah, it wasn't even like changing the rule or like something. It was like, oh yeah, just change this
It just
word
made
to that
it
word.
clearer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was not. It's been a while. Or like when they update the cards for like the older stuff. Did we have to pay for it? No.
Yeah.
You can download it for free.
No.
Free
Yeah,
Games
download
Workshop.
it, print
That
it home
means
if you
we
want
don't
to.
pay for it.
Free, like that, like one set of Necromunda
Which I
rules you
do.
did that time during
I need to do that,
COVID-19.
actually.
So you could play Necromunda solo.
Remember that? The free thing? But funnily enough, actually, I've always thought that Necromunda could probably work quite nicely as some sort of like tabletop role-playing game.
But they did like during COVID, they released this set of rules where it was basically a monster hunt, and you send your gang out after this monster, and it was like, yeah, that's a really cool idea. Do more like that.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Make it so you can
fair
actually just learn how to play the game on your own without having to waste a day of you and your brother and have to spend majority of the day looking through 20 rule books. Because everything requires in-depth rule. Bloody.
And not having to keep buying new rule books.
Yeah.
But enough of...
I've not even looked at the last year's worth of Necromunda releases.
GW.
Let's talk about something good. So, Daz, do you have anything for new and shiny?
Yeah, let's talk about something good. We always talk about good stuff. Don't care anyone says.
Yeah. GW always brings us down. Let's talk about new and shiny.
Let us talk about new and shiny.
So, TTCombat, again, let's keep it something that keeps us happy. TTCombat have got some new stuff on pre-order. They've got the Biofisser battleship, the PHR battleship, and the Sheltari battleship. Pre-order April the 4th. They are your drop fleet models, and they are some cool-looking vehicles.
They really are.
The Biofisser battleship looks amazing. I really like the look of the Biofisser stuff.
Yeah, I've kind of been growing towards them as a faction. Even in Striketeam, they look quite cool. It's almost like TTCombat's version of like the Borg.
Yeah.
But beautiful. And do you know what? I really like the clean cut lines, of the ships that they've got. Just something about it.
Yeah, very angular, very clean. Lots of triangles. Lots of detail, but like not in an overwhelming way.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously the PHR stuff looks cool because it's just really sleek, you know.
Yeah, very rounded, like the complete
E-
opposite of the Biofizzers. Very
Elegant, I think, was a
nice,
good way to describe that.
aerodynamic, elegant, really nice.
But
And the box art, that kind of like creamy,
yeah,
creamy white
definitely.
color, just looks so nice. The in-house artists for that have done a really good job with them. And then Shaltari, just I hope you like orange and yellow and little spikes, because not sharp spikes, mind, ones that aren't gonna cut your hands to ribbons when you reach into the box. Very ornate, I'd say. Very
Yeah,
ornate
I've
looking.
never, I've never been a fan of the Shaltari stuff. It's just not my bag, you know. It's
Mhm.
like I think my sort of favourite factions within the Dropverse. I really like the UCM,
Mhm.
and yeah, the Biofizzers are starting to sort of tickle my fancy a little bit.
I
But
kind
then,
of like
yeah, the Scourge I'm kind of on the fence
the
with, but the
biomechanical.
Shiltari just don't do it for me.
The Scourge have that like biomechanical look I really like.
Well, that really taps into your love of Necrons, though, doesn't it?
And alien. Resistance are just they've cobbled together any kind of ship they can get their hands on, which is very cool. I'm looking forward to seeing them in Striketeam.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the UCM that's the one with the guy who's got a jetpack, which I'm quite happy with.
Mm-hmm.
Love a jetpack.
Yeah, your big space army. Space soldiers.
Yeah.
Yeah, the UCM looks pretty cool. I'm looking forward to the Striketeam stuff because I'm kind of thinking maybe go for like a Killzone kind of vibe, like the computer game Killzone. So you've got like the UCM will be in like your military fatigue. Scourge will be the dark, like black armor and stuff like that. Resistance I'll have just kind of like I'll see how the models, like what it looks like the models are wearing, go for that kind of cobbled together look. So yeah, I think they'll be pretty cool.
Obviously, but no, keeping with TTCombat, the new Blood Studies Carnival Doctors gang, and
Mm-hmm.
I am a big fan of the Doctors. One of my, I'd say, fair to say, probably one of my favourite factions in Carnival, just through pure weirdness.
Mm-hmm. And these ones are very weird.
I mean, this is a faction that have a monstrosity of arms, animals that they've just stitched together because they can. And yeah, all in all, very weird faction. And to say that this is the weirdest faction yet, the weirdest sub faction that they've done, is sort of saying a lot.
Mm-hmm.
See if I can find it. But it's also on pre-order, I believe.
Yes, so pre-order the April the 4th release.
April the 4th. And where is it?
So these guys, it's they've been taking the vampire blood and using the madness energy, and they've been creating some horrendous beasts. There's the shackled feaster who uses blood magic to regrow limbs as it tears through the enemy. There's the Doctor of the Blood, who is the leader of the set. We've got a new apprentice doctor.
Again, they're massively underused.
Follow up into it. And then you've got two ghouls who are nightmarish hollow men, who, after being given the elixir, have turned violent and unstable, and they look horrendous.
Oh, they do.
One of them's missing his lower jaw, and his intestines are falling out of his underneath his rib cage, and the other one is missing one of his arms and basically the rest of that side of his torso.
It seems to be also
and they've
missing
got
the
clawed
skin.
feet.
The one who's
Oh no, that's the other guy, the one who can regrow his limbs. Yeah, the shackled feaster.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
He's missing skin and looks like he's regrown all of that. And the Doctor of Blood has like a mask that looks like a skull, like a metal skull.
Metal as hell.
Yeah. And then him and the apprentice doctor have weird blood flowing all around them with like a weird like the madness light energy glowing through it. So yeah, they look absolutely mad.
Yeah, and it's like metal as hell, mate. It's.
Mm-hmm.
It's again, this is a faction that truly thrive on the weird, and the real mad science and the real madness of Carnival. I think, don't get me wrong, vampires pretty terrifying anyway. And then you've got the eldritch horrors of the Rashar. Yep, fair enough. Mm-hmm. And then, the Vatican, who are just sort of like the church, and then you've got the patricians, who are just spoilt nobles, the guild, who are just everyone else, and then you've just got the doctors, who it's like, how do we fight something like a vampire? And then some guy probably just pipes up and goes, how about we just make a monster with 1,000 arms? And then someone just looks at him and just sort of be like, do you know what,
He's bound
Keith?
to land a punch with that.
Yeah. I think you've played a blinder there, Keith. I don't know why there'd be an Italian doctor called Keith, but he would have played a blinder. Someone goes, what have you done there? Oh, well, basically, I have attached a chicken's head to a lion. Any reason?
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Because I could.
Why have you put wings on this gorilla? Because I had
because I could.
I had a gorilla. I had some wings knocking about. 2 and 2 together, flying gorilla. But I love the Doctors so much in Carnival, so much, because although most of them are pretty squishy, because they are. But they I think the best way to sort of describe most of the Doctors is they're like glass cannons. It's they are super, super powerful. When they attack things, but you just have to make sure that you don't get attacked back, because you will die very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless you sort of fit them out with a lot of animals and make them a little bit more fighty, they're still going to be a little bit squishy.
Yeah.
But what you have at your disposal up until that point, it's almost like whatever there is in Carnival, the Doctors kind of have an answer for it to some degree.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the Rashar are really good in the water. Doctors, yeah, well, we've got some weird, crazy animals that can go in water. Does that count?
Yeah. Send the crocodile out.
Send a crocodile out, or this weird, abominable, brined horror that we've got. Send that in. Oh, we're fighting against vampires that can fly. okay, well, we've got a flying gorilla. I think we could send that up. And, and to be fair, there's some of the doctors have got probably some of the best magic users in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the Doctor of the Mind is probably one of the best. Taking the Magi Rashad aside, he is probably the next best, like, magic user. But then, for utility, the Doctor of the... Oh, Christ, what was his name? I can't remember it now. The one who's modelled like he's walking through a wall.
Yes, he's a fairly new one, wasn't he?
Yeah, he has. He's the only magic user that can take magic from 2 schools.
Mm-hmm.
So he has got a lot more range, and he's more of a utility magic user. And then you have the apprentice doctors, who can take a weapon or they can take an ability from another doctor, and you get like a free doctor for like a henchman price. And you can end up having like I've done it once where I had a Doctor of the Arsenale.
The Doctor of the Firmament.
That was it.
That's the one who can walk through the walls.
Yeah, because all that time and money that you spent on your scenery means absolutely nothing to this guy. But it's when you consider, like, I took a force out once where I had a Doctor of the Arsenale, and the apprentice doctor that I had also took the same weapon, so he also took a spirit cannon. So I had 2 spirit cannons, almost like 1 spirit cannon for full ducat price, and then I had a second spirit cannon for like half the price. And I was just causing absolute havoc with it. Because I just had them on top of a building, just peppering people.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, you keep a madman up there, mate, they can realistically just keep going until you run out of will points. Crazy, crazy combo. And that's the cool thing about them as well. You can bring up some like really crazy combos with them. But all their tech does come at a price.
And if you want to add your doctors into Rumble Slam, the exclusive models are currently up.
They are, because of Adepticon.
So you can bring the Hospitale Appointment and the Plague into the game as well. Then you've got the Rumble fans.
Also, speaking of Carnival,
cool.
they did if you like Rumble Slam but prefer the rulings of Carnival, you can download some free rules that are called the Rumble Il Redato. And that's basically using the Masked Mayhem, also exclusive miniatures available now. Masked Mayhem Pulcinellas, and you use them in Carnival. And basically the game is, there's a ring set up in the middle, and you're just trying to throw people into the canal. And that's the game. And you can even do like turnbuckle attacks from the corner. It's hilarious. But it's yeah, I mean, I'm always excited when I see new stuff come out.
Yeah. We've got the Queens of the Adriatic as well, which bring new sculpts for different leaders of the factions.
Yeah,
and
so
the Doctor, and that one's the Doctor of the Mind. That's a really nice sculpt. Do
you know what? I prefer the sculpt of the Doctor of the Mind from the Queens of the Adriatic. Actually, do you know what? It's fair to say that I actually prefer all of the Queens of the Adriatic alternative leader sculpts to the other ones. So if I'm ever using one of them, I tend to use the Queen of the Adriatic. Just because they're more dynamic. You know, the Magi Rashad one's more dynamic. The female Inquisitor.
The noble Strigoi looks fantastic as well.
And do you know what?
She's drained the dude.
That's probably my favourite miniature in that box. Just out of like pure model appeal. of just how it looks.
Mm-hmm.
And like it just screams out, yes, this is a vampire noble. You know, it just screams it out like no other model does.
Everything about it is that is an ability.
But yeah, looking forward to that. I'm probably going to pick those up at Salute, along with the Broga. So I've been looking forward to getting that because I'm a big Biker Mice from Mars fan. For those of you too young to know what Biker Mice from Mars is, I'm not going to explain it. I think the title pretty much covers it. They're basically
and
mice.
if you don't want to be in Mars, but you want to be elsewhere in space, come to Kickstarter on the 25th of March is the Alien role-playing game, second edition. I say second edition, the Evolved edition, and Rapture Protocol, which is a new narrative box, compatible with the previous version of the Alien RPG, just with some like rules revisions, zero gravity rules, miniature play support. What else is there? Solo mode, they're the last survivor, and information for having Jackson's Star from Alien Romulus in your games as well as the pulse rifle from that.
Because I've had a look at older editions of the Alien RPG, and it does look like a real good gas. So I do like the Alien films, and just to sort of put myself into those shoes would be funny. It's a good. The RPG for that does look really good. So I'm probably gonna look into that on the Kickstarter. But well, happy 1 year, Chris. I think we'll say that.
Happy 1 year.
And here's to another year. And,
another year of supporting our favourite games companies.
And just supporting the hobby in general. Thanks for joining us on the Tippy Cast. And if you're listening on Spotify, be sure to follow us.
And if you listen to us on YouTube, why not drop us a like and subscribe? And weigh in with your thoughts on what we've mentioned, missed, or something for us to look at for the next episode in the comments below.
And it's a goodbye from him.
And it's a goodbye from me.